Greetings, world.
It's unsettling.
It's a flying saucer.
It's very unsettling. Us hairy game lords this evening have been playing this. Unsettled. Ooh, by Orange Nebula. But what did we think? Find out. Ooh. Ta-da! Bearded Lady here, and I backed this bad boy on Kickstarter, and after missing the opportunity to pay for the postage, the shipping, paid it late, finally got it through, and us hairy game lords tonight landed on the first and recommended first planet on what's it called? Wenora. Is that right? Oh, brilliant! It's a 1 out of 4 challenge, guys.
How did we do?
Did we win? No. But we were close. We were close, weren't we?
We were.
So, the artwork... Let's talk about the artwork. Some of the Bearded Lady. The artwork is beautiful. And actually, this game comes with a whole pack of, art pictures, which I haven't shown everybody else. But
I think it's called concept art.
look at all that. It's beautiful, isn't it? That is where we were. That's where we were tonight. On a planet covered in spores. And some of us became hosts. In fact, I think all of us did, didn't we? At some point.
At times, yeah.
We were
rolling around in the spores.
We were fun guys. Hey! So, artwork is beautiful in this. Components are majestic. Look at this as a player board with the dual layers going on. Really like the way that there's loads of little heads that come along. Sometimes on one side they're just the head, on the other side they're wearing comedy glasses. And like that just pops into there, giving a little bit of personality to said player. So great. Also, there's loads and loads of different traits that are drafted at the beginning or chosen at random, and those traits give you special abilities that will enhance the play throughout the game. There's caretaker, there's skeptic, there's there's all kinds, and in fact there's way more than you would get through in one game, maybe even more than 2 games. This plays 2 to 4. Now, I thought initially, I'd love to play this game on my own if I have no mates. But actually, you need to work as a team. The game! You are, the 4 of you, or the 2 to 4 of you, are stranded or landing on a planet, and you've got to find out what's on the planet. But each time you cross over into a new area, most likely you're going to encounter time that's going to be wasted. But also at the end of each of your go, you have to rest one of your focus dice. There's kind of different actions you can do. And so time is always going to be spent. And that is what killed us all this evening. We got our task. We've gone through all of the tasks that we had to do, and we were heading for home, where we all then slipped into an unconscious state and no one there to revive us, so we didn't get out in time. But I'll let the others explain about and talk about the adventures that we had on this wonderful spore-ridden planet. It's a good game. And there's loads and loads of replayability, which is brilliant. Even in this single planet here, there are 3 other kind of setups that are available. And also there is 3 different spaceships that you can use with special abilities. So even in that alone, there's lots to come back for. And then we've got another 3 other planets. Good times! Good times. Now, all we need to do is find the time to actually play this game more than once. That is the difficult one. But a big thumbs up from this hairy game lord.
Hipster King here with my thoughts on Unsettled. So basically, you are playing a I guess it's a co-op survival game with a little bit of exploration thrown in. I really liked the sort of the way that dice were used. For those of you that sort of quiver when you hear the word dice and think, oh, random. They are just purely used as a measuring token. So you've got basically you've got 3. Then 2 pips, then 1 pip, and then your time is up and you have to refresh that dice. And so basically all you're doing is whenever you take an action using that dice, you're going to score it down once. And Andrew's already shown you, you have 6 basic actions on your board that you can spend your dice on. And there are also, as you start opening up things on the planet, there are places on your planet that you can land and do some use your dice. And also there's sort of a resource board where you can access various data stuff from the planet or energy resources and some other bits that allow you to sort of create different actions and combine things together to be able to hopefully start to move around a bit more successfully. Because one of the things we found out as you move from one of the we should show you some of the tiles, shouldn't we, I suppose? Are we allowed to? It's not spoilery, is it?
No.
So
yes.
You basically, you have a planet laid out like that. There'll be a grid of those, and whenever you land on one, you flip it over. You'll notice at the top, to move in or out of that space, it's going to cost you 2 time, which is pretty hard going because every time you spend time, you're going to move the time marker around this board, and every time you go all the way around, everybody loses endurance. And on your player boards you haven't got a whole lot of endurance. That's kind of your timer going down through the game. So moving without spending time is really important, and I think we probably realised that a little bit too late in the game. There are ways you can do that if you carry somebody with you as you move. Only you take the time penalty, so you don't have to have the same penalty twice. And there is also a little robot that you can do some moving around. And actually, we unlocked some powers in that robot later on in the game, which one of the other bits of this game is that there are all those levelling up that you can do as you start to gain resources and things. You start to level your own character up and get special abilities. And one of those special abilities allowed us to move people around on the robot, which meant that they then didn't incur the penalties. As with all co-op kind of survival games, it goes south really quickly, and you spend the whole time thinking you might just about, if you can possibly do this, and this, make it. And we got close, but we didn't make it either. There are so many other little bits in this game. There are some lovely mechanics, and the mixing of the different, the different mechanics you've got on your turn. You've got a set, you've got I think 4 key actions that you can do. And one of those is placing those 3 dice, which gives you at least 2 additional actions. And then there are a whole load of free actions you can spend if you've got the right resources and the right cards. So there's lots that you can do on your turn, and working it out as a team, how you can support your team members and what have you, made this an absolutely brilliant experience. Loved it. Would love to play it again now we've got our heads around it. I think one of the things that we really liked was the way that even in the rules it kind of says just play it. And play if a rule makes sense to you, play it that way. They're not too precious about it, and the whole way the rule book's designed, I think it gives you enough to get started. But as you then get into it, you can kind of refer to the rule book and just check up on the key things that you need to. Really well designed, lovely set of mechanics, and an absolute blast.
Hi, Dave the Great. Now, this is a fully co-op game. You don't even get to stab James in the back, which is kind of crazy. Although, to be fair, I think me and Martin, for the first couple of turns, were plotting quite heavily when Andrew was starting to go, actually, I'm fairly sure that becoming a spore monster might not be all bad. We were thinking that there was some underhand skullduggery going on. But it turns out that in some instances, becoming a spore monster isn't actually all bad, because you start hallucinating and you get to do some cool stuff, like moving really fast, which we could actually probably have done with more of the hallucinating to move really fast, because this is one of those games that at the start everything seemed to be going okay, and we're like, yeah, move that, yeah, use the time, it doesn't matter, it'll be fine, we've got loads of time, until right at the end when we were getting attacked by like brain tentacles that were exploding and just causing us grief left, right and centre, and all of a sudden all that time that you were quite happily using up and throwing away early on, if we'd had just a tiny bit more time in the last couple of turns, we would have been fine. It was that close. So for a cooperative game, it was tough, but even though we lost, we were all sitting there going, if only we'd done something slightly different, not being quite so flippant with our time early on, it was doable, which is what you really want from a cooperative game. If we just breezed past it, we'd have been there going, oh yeah, it's easy. Whereas actually, we want to go back, we want to play it again. And next time, we'll be a bit more organised early doors. We'll know what we're doing, in as much as we ever know what we're doing. And we will be able to beat it. You have this like weird round robot called Luna, who you can use in all sorts of interesting ways. You can catch a lift on Luna, which again, you're not going over the little edges of the cards that uses up your time. Everything uses time. And in the end, we couldn't outrun the alien fungus tentacle monsters, and we died on the alien planet. But fantastic game. And although these guys mock me for being a solo gamer, because my family doesn't game, you could quite easily play this dual-handed without any trouble at all. But you could play this solo quite easily. But it's a lot of fun with your mates as well, even though we did lose quite horribly in the end. But no, check it out, give it a try. 2 thumbs up from me.
Slightly Bearded James here. Yes, this game is fun, it's very puzzly. We had a great time losing, and one of the things that I really like about this game is it's actually got a sense of humour. Like, when you read the cards, when you read the book, which is a really enjoyable book to read half of, because it tells you not to read the rest of it. It's genuinely funny, and it's a pleasure to read. Graphic design is very crisp and clear, and yeah, I think it's you get the feeling that the people who made this game enjoy a role-playing game, because we made a really great little story from this. Because as you land on this planet, and it is all face down, you got no clue what's going on. We've barely got a grasp of the rules, which are a little bit light and fast at times, but it recommends that you just go with your gut sometimes, and that's fine. We started flipping over the cards. We started thinking let's try this out. Let's eat this thing over here. Let's dive into this anomaly over here. And sooner or later, we're actually figuring out that we can use these weird things that we found. For example, Pete's crazy addiction, which he developed in a few turns to some kind of fungus juice, is a lot of fun to play. A really great kind of exploration. He needs his juice. Oh my goodness. We probably spent half of the game trying to gain the so there's this lovely green dye here, trying to gain these green resource crystals just so Pete could keep his addiction up, but it was keeping us from becoming distressed too much, so that's good. If you get the chance to play this, it is really good, and between us, this is a really big, hefty game. We managed to set down the game in probably 5-10 minutes, and it'll be ready to pull out of the box, and it's ready to go again.
Not anymore. It's
not anymore. So,
did you see Pete just
and one of the other things is,
it's not my game, because that would have taken me right over the edge.
For such a big game, there's a lot of game in there, and there's a lot of different cards and some really high quality pieces and components. It fits in such a modest box, which is really refreshing when you've got a Kallax Tron full of games. So yeah, if you get the chance to play this, you really should. It is a little bit loose and fast on the rules at times, but that's fine. If you are a rules lawyer, probably look the other way because this will make you twitch. But if you like something which is fun, light-hearted, and difficult, this is the game for you.
Martin Viking here. I'm not going to lie to you. For the first maybe hour or so of the game, I did not have a clue what was going on. But that was mainly down to me not listening to people. But once I got my head around it, it is a proper laugh. It is very enjoyable, and it is difficult as well. Everyone's already spoke about like the amazing build quality and everything of it. I do think all the materials are like proper solid and just have a genuine good feel about them all. Even down to the box and everything. Yeah, buy it.
He wishes. Greetings.
Action!
Even though Dave thinks that you could double handle it, it's something that he's very used to doing.
Plus, I've got no mates.
But
Two really strong arms.
very strong arms.
Right, it's more the wrists.
It is more the wrists. Yeah. Anyway, all this is going in. That's what he said. Anyway.